Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jensine, aka Jungle Naps. I'm so glad to have you here. In this episode of First Impressions Revisited, I'm going to take most of the products that I've used in the last month and a half, and I'm also going to be using them in this video, telling you guys if I still like them, if there's some tea on them, if there are certain ways that you need to use them to make them work, and so on. So before we get the video started, if you're brand new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this a thumbs up if you like this style of video. Okay, so first off, for primer, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. And you know what? This one isn't too bad. Honestly, I'm not sure that I really like it for the summertime, but it does fill in the pores and it is very affordable, drugstore friendly. So I do like that. Something that I'm just gonna tell you guys, I did use this in my e.l.f. primer video. Not all of those primers were bomb, by the way, but I thought that this one was pretty decent. I don't think it's like too horrible. I mean, I don't know. Would I repurchase it? Probably not. And then, because of the weather outside, I live in the Northeast. It's very humid right now. We're going through a heat wave. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist all over my face. So this one I actually really love, just because it's so freaking convenient, you know what I mean? And all you have to do is spritz it, wait for it to dry, and then you're ready to go. Now, let me bring up a very favorited foundation. I did the Colourpop foundation review like about a month ago, and I really love the color, the formula. It just looks beautiful on the skin. Now, since I did this review, as you guys can see, this is like a lot lighter than my actual skin tone and my chest. So I will be mixing it with another foundation. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one on the inner part of my face and then the darker foundation on the outer part of my face. So first off, we're gonna start with the darker one. This one is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Foundation. This is a kind of new one to me, but I have to tell you guys, it's transfer proof, long wearing, matte, and it looks beautiful. So I'm just going to dot that all around the outer part of my face. So while I'm doing this, I know we have a lot of new members to the family here, and I'm really happy to have you guys. I hope you enjoy this channel and the content, and feel free if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see to let me know. Okay, for the Colourpop, my shade is actually 175, or this was my shade when I reviewed it the first time. You're gonna see why. See how light that is on the inner part of my face? I believe from what I remember, it does kind of oxidize, but like not too much. It just turns a little bit darker. I know I look crazy right now, guys, so don't mind me. This is gonna come together very nicely. So while I'm blending out this foundation, I did want to tell you guys a little bit about the Colourpop one. You know what? With the way that this humidity is, honestly, for the summer, it's not my favorite foundation. I mean, look at it. It looks beautiful on me. I don't doubt that, and I love the price point. But I think for me to use this on a regular, you know, basis, it's gonna have to be in the cooler weather when it's less humid, because it just doesn't perform well in the heat. Definitely moves around. But I do like the satiny finish. I think when the weather is cooler, or depending on where you live, maybe it is already cool, you know what I mean? It probably just looks really nice. It gives that like natural, your skin but better kind of vibes. But me, I just have to wait because I do have oily combination skin. All right, for concealer, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just going to conceal and highlight the high points of my face. So one thing that I do have to say about this concealer is I love how full coverage it is. I do have pretty dark circles underneath my eyes, and I just love how pigmented it is, and it doesn't dry out or cake out my under eyes. So yeah, I mean, I really like it. Honestly, for me, definitely totally replaces Shape Tape in terms of that same like coverage. For my under eyes, I'm going to be using my favorite. This is the Hourglass, what is this? The Veil Translucent Setting Powder. Such a good setting powder. I love it. And I love the little sifter here. I've told you guys this already. It's just really nice, really easy to use, a lot less mess. And I just like to dab it underneath my eyes. I don't bake underneath my eyes because they will make my eyes really, really cakey. But this is just like a nice natural set. Now, before I do my bronzer and all that, I want to take a moment, step back, go to the eyes, and I have a couple things that I want to talk to you guys about. So I have a couple palettes that I tried over the past month and a half, and the first one was the Born to Run palette, and the second one is the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice. Now, in the Moroccan Spice collection, there is the Fenty Beauty Primer. So I did want to let you know about that one. Now, when I first used it, I was so impressed by how pigmented it made the Fenty shadows. It was beautiful. I didn't have any issues with it at all. I thought it was wonderful. And then the next couple times I wore it, I started to notice that because I have hooded eyes, throughout the day, I would notice major creasing where my eyes normally get oily. So I found that even though the primer itself is sticky and tacky and goes on lovely and blends out nicely and makes your shadows so pigmented, it doesn't really do much on me for making my shadows last throughout the day. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little comparison. On one eye, I want to use the Fenty Beauty Eye Primer. On the other eye, I'm going to use my Smashbox 24-hour eye primer, which I freaking love. Now, I did get a comment from one of you guys asking me to not set the Fenty primer on my eyelids. Now, the problem with that is I must set my eyelids because I have very oily eyelids, and the oils will come through and break up the shadows throughout the day if I don't set them. Believe me, I've tried it because I was curious and I wanted to know if the Fenty primer would work better if I didn't set it, and the Fenty primer was pretty much the same, unfortunately. So let's talk about the Born to Run palette. So when I reviewed this, I was initially like, damn, like this is a beautiful palette, you get a big old mirror, but the problem is, okay, look at how lovely some of these shades look. The mattes and some of these shimmers I've noticed are incredible in terms of pigmentation, but the pigmentation is very inconsistent in this palette. For example, I went and used this shade Radio a couple days ago, and I was just like, man, this looks so beautiful. Can't wait to put this on my eyes. And it just broke my heart because no matter what I did, whether I used my finger, a wet brush, a dry brush, I just could not get it to be opaque on my eyes. It just went on and it was streaky and chalky, made my eyes look dry. So some of these shadows, I do have those problems with them. But I will continue to use the mattes because I don't like to waste stuff. However, I wouldn't recommend that you guys just run out and just purchase this palette. I don't know if this is just a production issue, just my palette. Maybe some of you guys have tried this one. Please let me know how you feel. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this shadow Riff. Riff is a really nice, beautiful transition color that I will give this palette, like, it's good, you know? I mean, look at it. It's so nice, especially on my skin tone. But there are a lot of good brown transitions out there. So, I mean, you know, do you need it? Nah. So now I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the Fenty Moroccan Spice palette, and I really want to use this pink shimmer. So it's interesting, on the Fenty side, the actual eye looks beautiful, the shadow, I love it. But as I've been trying to add it on the side with the Smashbox, it really does take some work because the Smashbox primer is pretty dry and it's not as sticky, so it doesn't grab it as easily. I can still see it, but you just have to like take more time. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna finesse it, don't worry. So I do see what a lot of people were talking about in the reviews, saying that the shadow formula, they didn't like it. And unfortunately, it's like one of those things where they make it so that you have to use their primer. And that's really unfortunate. And I feel like it's not fair to the consumer to make it so that you have to buy their primer if you want to make this eyeshadow palette work. And I definitely wouldn't advertise that you guys go out and purchase both. I don't think that's really fair to say. For me personally, I'll continue to pair the primer and the palette together just because I do like the colors and I do like the way that they work together. And I think the creasing is something that I can definitely figure out over time. So for the outer crease, I'm going to go into Hennessy, and I'm just going to dip it in here and place it right on the outer corner. And I want to add some more depth to my face, so I'm going to take the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder, and this is the deepest one that they have, and I'm going to use it to set the outer parts of my face. Like, it has a bit of color to it, but it's not cakey. I guess that's what I was trying to say. And honestly, I don't really have a new bronzer. There just weren't any bronzers that came out that I tried in the past month and a half, and I'm gonna go with my tried and true. This is the It's My Raye palette, and I'm going to mix this color right here. This is Mocha, and then Brownie Bite. I'm gonna mix these two. And see how nice that is? Just like tiny little shadow there. Now for my liquid highlighter, I wanted to take a drugstore goodie. This is the Rose Gold, and I have used this a couple times on my channel already, but I haven't tried a lot of new liquid highlighters. So I'm just gonna take this and dot it right along that section. And I love, you guys know, I love mixing my liquid highlighters with my powder highlighters. They just give such a beautiful effect. And it really, like, look at that. Doesn't it highlight the cheekbone really nicely? All right, so for my powder highlighter, I'm gonna go in with the Laura Mercier. This is the color Seduction. Look at this. Look at how, like, beautifully creamy, like, just luscious it is. So I learned this trick from I Love Sarah E. I'm gonna take my highlight brush, and then I'm just going to spritz it, and then I'm going to dip it in here, and look how like wet and dewy that is. And I like to bring it to just the top of the apple of my cheek. Ooh. Now, honestly, I don't have any new blush, but I'm gonna go in with this one that I love. This is from the Patrick Star, I think the spring collection. This is called Take Me Home. And I still love it. Like, it gives such a beautiful color to my cheeks, and you don't need to use a whole lot. All right, so it's time for lids, and I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay. This is the shade 66 from the Born to Run line, and I actually really like their lipsticks. The liner that I'm going to use with it is MAC Night Moth, and this is one of my favorite ones. Now it's time for the lipstick, and I think that's such a cute, like, mauve-y ombre look. It's just gorgeous, and I'm not even going to top it off with lip gloss, which, if you know me, you guys know I love my gloss. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, so check this out. I'm really loving the way that this came together. It's like light daytime on the top, and then sultry berry mauve on the bottom. You know, I'm really feeling it. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, or you haven't checked out my First Impressions Revisited playlist, go ahead and check them out right up top there. It gives you more of a well-rounded review of some of the products that I've tried in the past. And if you haven't given this a thumbs up, go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you liked it only. No pressure. Don't forget, I love you guys. Thank you so much for chilling with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!